Okay, let's dive into this now. Let's talk about the training. What's the training looking like right now? Off season, what's that like? How frequently are you in the gym?
I am in the gym like 4 to 5 times a week. So a bit less than about 1 year ago because my coach, we made a new structure of my plan. Also a bit difficult to explain because it's no regular push-pull legs or upper-lower split. It's more split it into the weak points of mine. So we want to increase my arm size and also hamstrings and chest at the moment. Those groups are prioritized, and I start my push workout also with biceps and my pull workout one day with triceps and a bit more higher frequency for those muscle groups. So I have like a rotation of 6 days where I train 2 days and then take one rest, and that over like 9 days. And after 9 days, I repeat the same rotation.
It's like a 5-day arrangement, we'll call it. So 5 different types of workouts that you will complete within a 9-day period.
Six different.
Oh, six.
6 different. Yeah.
Okay, so 6 different types of workouts that you'll complete in a 9-day period. So it ends up working out to 4 to 5 days per week training.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and just go into some of those details. So you were talking about having triceps starting on your pull day, like basically things that are geared towards improving the areas that you're looking to improve, right? So first off, talk about the weak area. What are the areas you're looking to improve? Let's start there.
The areas I want to improve are like my arms overall, but I don't think I have bad arms, but compared to my shoulders, they could get a bit bigger. So my whole physique will look in like the side poses and also in the front pose better. And also my chest, for my side chest, to get more volume in there for the side poses, and the hamstrings in my back poses could need also more volume.
So you're looking to improve those areas. In your workouts, are you starting with exercises that are specific towards improving those areas?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
For an example, what would day one look like?
My day one is a full body session. So where I start with hamstrings and those with lying leg curls, also some adductors. And after that, I'm doing for the hamstrings also Romanian deadlifts. And then I went to do my back workout. So where I do more pull exercises like a lat pull down and some T-bar rows. That's different from my other pull workout where I just train my back. So the reason we start with hamstrings to get those improvements there and get less fatigue for the hamstrings, and my back is already good developed, I guess. So it also can get better, but it's not prioritized in front of hamstrings, right?
Okay, so it's basically a back and hamstring day where you're prioritizing the hamstrings first in the session, and then on the next pull day that you'll have maybe later in the week, it'll be where you prioritize your back first.
Yeah, right.
Okay, gotcha. And then the next day, so day 2, because you said you do 2 days back to back. I'm assuming it was as like a quote unquote push day where you're doing like presses and those types of movements.
Yeah, right. My second day is a pretty common push day where I start also with chest like flies and going then to press movements and also training shoulders and triceps. So pretty typical, I guess.
And then you'll take a day off, you mentioned. So there's no legs on the second day.
No legs on the second day. So I take one day off and then I'm starting with legs. And there I have a like quad focus day.
So you'll do legs, and then you'll do, what's the day after that usually?
After legs, it's another pull day, but it's a pull day where I prioritize my back.
Then you'll take a day off, and then you'll hit, what's the day after that?
Push again, where I start with biceps, focusing also the arms, but this day biceps because we have time to recover, right, from the pull day, but get a higher frequency if we are doing also 2 exercises for the biceps, then hitting push exercises for my chest, and after that also triceps.
Oh, okay. And then after that specific day, you hit legs again?
Finishing with legs. I could also look in my like app Yeah, where I start also with like quad focus,
Quads.
and yeah, and at the end also training a few glute exercises.
Okay. Interesting setup you got there. So do you ever find that you're walking, like, let's put it this way, you finished a day of training, but you have a scheduled training day the next day. Are you the type, and I want to assume that you are because you're a young guy, you're dedicated, you're motivated, but do you ever walk into that
Yeah.
second training session where there's like lingering fatigue from the previous day, but you push through it regardless?
Yeah, definitely, because I'm training other parts of my body, and the fatigue I get from one training day doesn't have that much impact on the next day. So it's actually 1 year ago when I trained a whole different split, like a regular or more regular push-pull legs, where I train push-pull legs with 1 day off, and then have like a D day where I do also push-pull legs, but with different movements and different exercises. So a bit more common, but there I guess I was more fatigued because my volume was also really high compared to now. So I'm doing at the moment less, but with a higher frequency for those muscle groups I'm prioritizing.
Okay. So you've traded off the volume component per session to accommodate for a higher frequency, i.e., you hit it more oftentimes in a specific period.
Yeah, right.
With regards to the frequency stuff, I'm interested in because you mentioned, if I understand this correctly, you will feel, I know it's different body parts. So you go in, let's say it's your first day
Yeah,
of the week,
yeah.
it's your back and hamstring day,
Cool.
or hamstring and back day.
Yeah.
The next day, you're hitting your upper body again. Do you feel some of that lingering fatigue, but you push through it anyways? Did I understand correctly that you do that regardless? Like you won't say, I'm too tired today, I will just do it the next day. I'll take a rest day and then do it. Or are you so strict to this 2 on 1 off schedule that you will never miss a workout?
Yeah, I'm pretty strict to it. So hitting every workout, and I think a rotation where you have 2 days and then take a day off is pretty easy to hold through that, because you know after 2 days you have a day rest and time to recover, and also enough time for those muscle groups to recover in between the days you train them.
Okay. Versus the 3 day on 1 day off, which is what you were doing before.
Yeah.
Or was it actually 6 days in a row? I know some people do the push pull leg 6 days in a row and then they take Sunday off. But which was it for you specifically in the past? Was it 3 on 1 off or 6 days straight?
It was 3 days, 1 day off. Because I think about 3 days, you should take a day rest if you are pushing really hard. Because I think there are many athletes which could take also 6 days in a row, but then you have to decrease your volume and also your intensity. If you are pushing 6 days through, your body is overall more fatigued. If you do 3 days, take then a rest and do another 3 days where you can have the whole amount of volume, but split it in 2 times.
What does that look like per exercise? First off, what's the sweet spot that you found for yourself or what you have programmed for yourself currently? So, yeah, how many exercises per workout on average? And if it's drastically different one workout to the next, and how many hard sets per exercise do you find yourself doing workout to workout?
At the moment, I'm doing like 7 to 9 exercises in every workout. So I think it's a good amount, but per exercise, I'm doing like 2 to 3 sets, depending on which exercise. Those exercises where you get more fatigue, I'm doing less. If you are doing Smith machine squats, 2 sets there, and sets where you can target the muscle, but not getting that much fatigue, there I'm doing like 3 sets, leg extensions, and also, yeah, maybe in bicep work, and also doing some myo reps where just doing 1 set and 2 sets with some myo reps I could get in.
For the listeners who may not know, describe how you implement myo reps and for what exercises.
Yeah, so I'm doing it regularly. So it's not something I do in one or the other week, just like in intensity technique. It's more implemented for the actual exercise. So I'm doing it 1 day for my glutes on the abductor machine, also for my triceps, and also for my biceps in one exercise. But it's every time at the end of the workout. So you get those reps in, which are pretty hard, and where you increase the fatigue on the muscle, it's better to do them a bit later in the actual workout.
Okay. And with the heavy multi multi-joint movements like the squats, like you mentioned, maybe the presses, maybe some heavy rows, that's where you're implementing less sets? What is it, like
Yes.
2 sets? Is that kind of the minimum?
Yeah, that's most of the times the amount I take. On the leg day, where I start with quads, I'm doing also leg press with 3 sets. That's an exercise where I think you can grind more because you're sitting and the whole weight doesn't forcing into your whole body. So with Smith machine squats, you're getting also the load on your shoulders and your neck, right? And that's the reason it also fatigues like your upper body because you have more degrees of freedom also in the exercise where you have to get the stability. If you are comparing it to barbell squats,
Yeah.
but compared to the leg press.
So with regards to like rest periods, does it depend on the exercise as well? Like, are you big on taking quite a bit of rest between sets for your hard working sets?
Yeah, of course, of course. There I'm taking in the direction of 3 minutes, where isolating movements like biceps curls and adductor and also lying leg curls or stuff, there I'm thinking more about 1:30 to 2 minutes rest, depending
Are you,
also on big or small muscle groups, right?
of course, of course. Is it mostly straight sets? Do you pick a load and then you kind of stick with that load for the 2 or 3 working sets? Or do you pyramid up to a top set? How do you like to do things?
Top and back off direction. Over the years, I mostly also worked with straight sets where I take a load and then just decreasing the reps I get in over the few sets. But also, I think it's good to do like one top set where you can actually push in a lower rep range and then do a back off set where you also get in a higher rep range. So you have different rep ranges also nailed in the workout.
So you'll do your warm-up sets, right? If any. I'm assuming you have warm-up sets for or acclimation sets where you're kind of working your way up to that top set. Do you do that for every exercise for the most part?
Yeah, mostly, but not for every muscle group. Like for press movements, I need a few more warm-up sets than like doing for pull work because I think it depends on your joints also, which are feeling good in the exercise. And for me, in quad exercises and push exercises, I'm doing a few more warm-up sets where I increase the weight over the warm-up sets.
And you'll work your way up to the top set, right? For let's say these multi-joint movements, if you will, the presses, the pulls, right? The squatting and that type of stuff, leg presses. You'll work up to the top set. What's the rep range usually for that top set? Because you said it's usually a lower rep range.
Yeah, usually depends also on the exercise. So like I have those exercises where I use different joints. So multiple joint exercises like Smith machine squats, there take 5 to 7 reps. And also chest press movements like 5 to 7 reps. And then doing a back off set from 7 to 10 reps. And in some other exercises, I'm doing my top set right with 7 to 10 reps and then take a back off set with 10 to 13 reps maybe.
If you do a third set, will you back off again or will you keep that same weight for just one more set?
It's different. In some exercises, I actually have 2 sets at a lower rep range. And in some exercises, I have one top set and then doing 2 back-off sets, but in the same rep range, right? So I'm doing 2 sets, maybe where I hit 13 reps and then the next set hitting just the lower range where doing like 10.
Okay. So you just kind of go with how your body's feeling in that specific moment.
Yeah, it's written in my program. So
Okay.
I'm just looking there which rep range I should hit. But sometimes also when it's a point of time where you could increase the weight and maybe get a few lower reps in, then it is how it is. And we take some lower reps and then building up from that. So you get again in the same rep range.
Do you prefer one rep range over the other? Have you found, or are you just like a soldier, you follow it, you don't even think about it?
It also depends on the muscle group I train. I think for chest, it's a higher rep range where I'm doing like 10 and above. And for my back, I could do more low reps, about 6 to 10. So it's where I could also work pretty heavy for the back. That works for me, I think.
Does one feel more natural though to you? Like, for example, for me, I find that lower reps just feel better, for example, like with dumbbell presses. Like that just just feels better for me personally. Like I don't like high reps. I don't like it. I don't feel it's productive when it comes to pressing with that specific tool, i.e. dumbbells. What about you? Have you navigated or felt like, I'm learning that I kind of feel this better versus this? Or again, I know you're young, so it's interesting to get a perspective from someone your age. But then again, you've been training for 8 years. So
yeah, I think if you have enough intensity, those last reps I'm getting in every time, I feel them pretty good. So it's not necessary in every exercise to like get the right rep range in. So for me, different rep ranges could work, but maybe also for legs, it's a good example if you are doing like squats or Smith machine squats. So those exercises where you can actually load a certain amount of weight, it's not the best way maybe to do higher rep ranges, because also like your vascular system, you lose
you get tired.
you get tired, but before you actually the muscle group you are training hits the point where you doesn't get more reps in, right?
Right. Yeah. Which brings me to my next question. With regards to these hard sets, are you training to failure? You're in the middle of an exercise, you're doing with, say, dumbbells or machine, and then you're trying to get to that point where, you can't move the load anymore. How close to that point are you getting with each set? Or do you not do that, where you fail on the exercise, for example?
Yeah, I'm most of the time training to like failure, like you said. If I couldn't use the same technique for another rep, then I'm doing not one more rep, but also one or the other time I'm like working with partials and stuff after that. So another technique, but those reps are not the reps I'm counting. It's more like fatiguing or get more work of the muscle done. To like measure your progression, you have to do reps with the same technique. So those reps are the important one I'm counting.
And is that usually how many sets from each exercise are you reaching that point? Is it pretty much each hard set? So we talked earlier, you said you do 2 to 3 hard sets per exercise usually. Are you reaching failure in every single set, or do you save it for the last set? Is it only on that first set? How do you like to do it?
At the moment, I'm doing it at almost every exercise. So that's my program at the moment, where also like doing no reps in reserve. But there are certain situations where you could use those as a tool. Like if you are doing a deload and the week after it's necessary to have a few reps in reserve, so you are not getting too fatigued too early and get cramps in your muscles or fatigue, which are lowering your workload, which you can use in another workout.
Progression, right? We're talking about progression now. So with every
Yeah.
exercise you do, are you focused on adding weight to the exercise in order to progress forward? So for example, let's say workout 1, you did 50 kilos for the presses for 8, let's just say, to failure. Then next week, you'll try to get 50 for 9 maybe. Or if you hit the top of the rep range, you'll increase the weight and then you go to the bottom of the rep range, and that's really challenging, and then you work your way back up. Is this kind of the progressions you follow?
Yeah, that's the kind of progression, like actually how you told, working up with the rep range. And when I'm hitting the top of the rep range, increasing more weight, and then doing in the lower rep range those movements and increasing the reps in every workout. But also sometimes when I'm hitting the top of the rep range, I'm actually doing another workout where I doesn't increase the weight and also try to hit the upper top of the rep range and maybe do a few reps more, so I can confirm that I'm actually doing it with the right technique and hitting the end of the rep range, and then just starting to increase the weight.
Okay, that's understandable.